I have something to confess to you guys. I am not old enough to experience the 80s. And to be honest, it wasn't really a decade that ever interested me until I saw Tales from the Loop from Free League Publishing. So today, let's step out of my comfort zone and into the 80s that never was. Tales from the Loop setting is an alternative history to our world. What if in the 1980s experiments into particle acceleration led to huge leaps forward into both science and technology? The book suggests two settings, one that's in a Nordic region and the other one that is in the United States. While technology is baked into the premise of the game, it isn't the main focus. You don't play a scientist, you play a kid from the age of 10 to 15, trying to find out what is happening in your hometown. The age of your character is really important too. Younger player characters get a greater pool of luck points to draw from, whereas older characters will have more experience that will build up their stats. To roleplay this game, you're using a system based on the Year Zero gaming system. So, you roll a number of d6 equal to your stat in an area, and when you get a 6, that will generally mean you succeed and pass the test. There are lots of various archetypes you can sort of choose from to create your child character. Some of them are straight out of a John Hughes film. I think the one that I really appreciate is the bookworm, because this was definitely me from the ages of 10 to 15. I do think if you wanted, you could slightly stretch it so you could build a character outside of the age groups of 10 to 15. It's just up to you and your gaming group. The book does specify that in this world, adults aren't really helpful to the kid characters. I think this is to avoid the problem that we always ask in this genre of why don't they just tell the adults? Well, in this world, the adults probably won't believe them. And maybe if you created an adult character who did believe them, they probably couldn't help anyway. Another rule set out by this game book is that the child characters are not allowed to die. I definitely think this is to keep the tone of the game rather light and avoid images and storytelling of child exploitation and murder. I do think totally that you could change that rule depending on your gaming group if a character wanted to be retired and you wanted to, say, set off another mystery. Really, what I'm saying here is there are a couple of rules in this book that if I were to run this game, I would absolutely bend them just a little to suit my friends and how we like to play. You also get a lot of opportunities to customize these child PCs. Everyone gets a signature item that is really special to them, and they can't lose it unless they choose to gain a new signature item. In character creation too, you get to pick their favorite song, which I think is just a really charming idea. To build these characters out, you also have to give your child a problem. This could be something to do with their home life or school. It's not something they necessarily share straight away, but it just gives everyone a little bit more complexity and depth to play with. The loop isn't the main mystery to be solved here. It's very unlikely that the kids would ever get inside the base. More so, they're dealing with the consequences of living near it. For example, a scientist might go rogue and create a hole in time, and suddenly there's a carriage coming down the main road. Or perhaps an android's programming goes wrong and it goes on a murderous rampage rather than being a helpful android. This book is hefty, and that makes sense considering there's two settings in here and an alternative timeline to the 1980s included. They also suggest things like downtime activities for your characters to engage in, or locations that kids in this place might just hang out. I also think everything here is really well set out and easy to find. There's a really helpful index at the back which will help you jump to the spot that you need when you're gaming. And the table of contents itself is really clear and well set out. It's definitely something I appreciate in a gaming book. You also get 4 pre-written adventures in this book, which I think would give your group a lot to play with and a lot to try out. I've read through all of them and I think they all sound really exciting and fun to try out. I also have to mention that the art in here is beautiful and has some really haunting imagery that is very inspiring. Every time I reread a section of this book or I was looking up a rule for this video, it reminded me that I really want to play this game again. I didn't expect to like it, but I really think it's carved out a bit of a spot in my heart. I paid around $90 Australian for this book from my local gaming store, and I do think you get plenty in there to run your own adventure or to use the settings and pre-written adventures that they include. I have to say, this was a really pleasant surprise. The mechanics are well thought out and clearly stated. The setting is interesting and intriguing, and I really hope to run it soon. And I hope to see you at the gaming table. Bye.